All right, so we are still trying to build up the city of Rostov on the Caucasus region map. And we have a number of nice things that we've done there. We've attracted the Ossetia to relocate there, and we have a friend in Cherson, and we've got Vizier Ulf running the place while we're off gallivanting. We found a wand in the new ruins and moved it and its present user to Itil to help alleviate some problems they have there. And the main thing that happened last adventure was that we made friends in Barda, and we moved Azra and Air to that area. The Kabbalist Alex, the herbalist Alex was moved from Barda. Azra, the heir of Sinope, is another guy we've already relocated to Rostov. So we're building up quite a community. And when it comes to the Glittner faith, we are leaning toward the fact that we are moving toward franchise with that faith because we've attracted so many other people and given them a little bit more free will on what they wish to do. Last adventure, we beat a beast with many glowing eyes. And was it Fred that killed that? I can't remember, but that happened.
Pretty sure I did. I would have killed it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Tony. I forgot. Tony was the one that killed that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Tony.
Yeah.
We're all sure it's Tony. That was in the crypt area. Oh, that's right above the chapel that we had to cross through. So I'm back over on the High Ruins map. We are presently just defeated a group in the next to the crypt, and we've already taken care of the barracks. A lot of black areas still to cover. This could go very fast or very slow, but there's undoubtedly a twist as we hunt for the Lich. I will test my card flipper just to make sure it's working. Seems to be working on my end, so if you guys can't see it, then we'll... I think we have Conrad. Conrad, you also in chat, sir? He'll get in chat in just a second, I guess. But I see him as logged into the game. And we'll start with Rusty. Rusty, do you see Ernest Boingnine's character? You can go ahead and decide to move him into any black area that off of any white area that you've already revealed.
Okay. We'll go this way.
Okay.
Because I don't bother with trying to complete.
I thought Fred left us with some good advice that completing is never a bad thing.
Oh, it is a bad thing. What do you mean? Of course.
All right, Rusty, where would you like to go on those two choices in that corridor? Let me shake up a die. I roll for wandering monsters. A 4, I didn't roll. Straight up. Through no fault, your own best intentions. You've hit another portal. Now, in order to cross that portal, they tend to be very dangerous. That doesn't usually stop you guys from entering an area. You do have some pretty significant party members. A barrier. You'd have to use storming actions and obtain the breach in order to move through that area. Now, did I hide the Lich on the other side of a portal? That would make sense. But... since when does a Lich have the same logic as mortals? So your choice, Rusty.
Oh, we're going to go through the part. Yes, we're going to try and breach the portal.
We're going to try to breach the portal. Well, let me open up my omnibus here. No, I should say my fundamentals of Outlands so that I can find the table.
Now that I've said that, Conrad's going to conveniently wait a while before he actually connects in.
Well... it depends on whether or not he needs to check an ignoble, I guess, is always the motivation behind that. But I'm there with Etalk is right there with you, brother. I'm not going to abandon you. I am unwounded. I don't think we have any wounds in the party. In fact, we're towing a Sokov character with us. that tiger-headed hematite, I believe it is. Let me see if I pronounce that badly. Hemendra, the tiger-headed Hemendra, the king of his particular species, we got with us. And yeah, Tony is in Skype right here.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. You're just chatting to Conrad to see if Conrad is in Skype. Breaching portals.
Yes, in Skype.
There we go. All right.
Breaching. Conrad paid for the upgrade of Skype. That's why he's the last always to be added in. They're checking to make sure that his fees are paid. This would be storming actions. Storm the walls of the tower. I'm on 255. Storm walls. And to obtain a breach, I believe, is the opponent surrender would be another option here. See if there's a better one. I think that's we're not going to do magic gates to close it. That's another colored icon on the map. So storming actions and success in the battle has been won. The rolls don't look impossible. So we'll start with Conrad. Conrad, are you here, sir?
I believe I am.
He doesn't want to be, but he gets a 6. It is a bane, but there are no banes in these tables. Just bad results.
They're all bad banes.
Thank you, Tony.
Yep.
It was storming, is what you said?
Yeah, it is storm. Correct.
And it's a 6, and it's a bane.
Yes.
6s are bad. Take a ram to the main gate. One of the most tactically direct but potentially disastrous methods of entrance. I can't see how that would be a problem. Many could be lost driving the ram. Fail, and all players return to the longer siege. Regardless, lose any staggering techniques. This loss may be taken personally or from your weapon, mount, or magical abilities. It may even be suffered collectively on the group's longboat. If present, a character with no techniques is outright slain, dead. Lastly, for each pip of the die under the target, the players have sacrificed the 5% of their total servitor force of crew and soldiers. If the character is trait rugged, target difficulty increases by 3.
Decreases by 3, yes.
Yes. And I am, rugged? In fact, rugged, so it's
You're rugged,
12.
You're pushing the ram, probably from the rear, not out front, and give me 2 dice, I guess, for 12. Are you battle hard as well? Or is our longbow battle hard? Let me take a look at our
according to my list, it is.
It is, yes, it is.
So 3 dice looking for the 12. Each one we miss it by, we lose 5%.
Yes, you don't want to roll a deuce here.
Okay, and regardless, lose any swaggering technique. So we're losing one as a matter of...
We're losing camaraderie right now.
Okay, so 3 dice looking for the 12. Or I could use the make roll. It is awful early in the evening. Let's go ahead and roll the 3 dice.
Okay. For
the 12. And that was a 13, which is a success.
That is a success. That doesn't win the battle, but that it does
save.
Who said running down the center is not a good option?
It's the direct route. We're not going to be completists here. I'm going to flip a card for. I'm over to Greg.
Yep.
Welcome, Greg, as usual. 10.
Get this done, boys.
10. 10.
Sorry, I'm having problems with the computer
here. No problem.
There you go. Thank you, Conrad.
Charge the Barbican with a squad of your bravest, only to discover the keep's passageway is honeycombed with murder holes. Fail and suffer a vicious. If the character is trait bold, difficulty decreases by 3. Difficulty 9. Advantage skill armorer smithy. Let's see. Where are my traits? I am bold.
They're under clever.
Yep, and I do indeed have armorer smithy. So 3 dice of the 9.
It's a roll of a 6 to avoid a vicious wound on 3 dice.
There we go.
And no vicious wound. I go over to Tony. Fred, you're missed. And Mike and Laura, you're missed. But we'll see them hopefully next week, or Fred in 2 weeks. 5 for you, Tony.
Okay, 5. Storming of a 5. Set your ladder or grapnel and scale the walls. Fail and add a half die steps toward oblivion on your tally of warped outcomes. Regardless, gain 1 swaggering technique of your choice. This may be taken from in any form, including on your vessel. If any character in the party has the wizardry telekinesis, difficulty decreases by 3. I'm going to assume that Rusty has.
Rusty probably
I
has.
certainly do. Yes.
Okay, difficulty 10 then. Advantage skill mountaineer. Am I a mountaineer? A mountaineer. I am a mountaineer.
Wow, who would pick that? Okay, you did.
I'd actually started with mountaineer. It seemed like a good thing at the time. Okay,
That's
3
not a bad
dice of a
skill.
10. Oh, there you go. One on the second time.
And the second attempt as a Stallari rolls 3 times on these tables. And but again, all it is to avoid.
Well, he also got a regardless in there. Pick up a free.
He got a swaggering.
He did. He picks up a swaggering. He's probably going to take one in blade or mount, I would think. Maybe
actually,
savvy.
I'm thinking we're going to take vermin free abundant stores for the boat.
Abundant stores for the boat. If you're going to take one for the boat, may I suggest you not take abundant stores or treasure laden, because I believe we're going to get those as soon as we move around a bit.
Okay.
There are stores and treasure in the underworld. There is not camaraderie or no curse or charted path, so to speak.
All right, we'll take camaraderie then.
Okay, camaraderie.
Help everybody out.
We lost it. We bring it right back, of course. And I'm going to go to my High Ruins map. And I'm still in this battle here. We're not out of it yet. I'm going to go ahead and flip a card for me. And I got myself the Empress card. I don't really care that we have Major Tarot coming my way. I don't care for that at all. Let's see what it says. Great. And it's in the chat. The field of battle loses all semblance of sides. The players may not select rearguard actions. And it is inverted. If the group's vessel has longboat orderly kept, a fail result also means we will lose that technique. I look at my longboat swaggering, and orderly kept, yes, orderly kept we have. So somewhere on the dark river, way away, the men are risking the fact that they are not keeping to their stations while we are absent. Let me see if I can make this roll, though, that comes along. And it will be an ace. Oh, an ace. Beautiful card.
Aces are always good.
Yeah, an ace gives us a chance of a win here. It says a shatter an improvised buttress added by the enemy to keep the damaged walls from falling. No doubt from the other 4 players damaging the
directly to the center, baby. Just going right down the center.
Success and battle has been won. The remaining enemy forces are broken or surrender, but fail and suffer a vicious wound. It had to have that tagged onto it, didn't it?
It did.
A skill of men-at-arms. Am I a man-at-arms? I'm looking. I am a man-at-arms. 3 dice for a 9, and rolling twice for my level. I should be able to make this, you would think.
Come on, this is like a gimme.
Boom, 15. We have successfully opened the portal to move past. That's a good choice, Rusty. And we move on to, who's my next guinea pig? I think it's Conrad.
Who's our lobies in here that have that might need a check and ignoble for that particular action?
And well, it's I'm level 5. I probably can't check for just that one Q&D for my battle. No make rolls were used.
I'm level 4.
I would say if you're below level 5, you can.
All right, so let me see what I need to check.
I have exercising prudence, which I don't think I actually qualify for that.
I've already got
not exercising prudence would be. Is that a choice? Recklessness, is that a choice?
Yeah, I don't know.
It is a forethought, though, perhaps. Go ahead, Greg. Once more for me, Greg. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm talking over people. I said I need adventure, crafty deeds, exercising prudence, growth, leadership, and heroics.
Okay,
that
so which one
sounded very
do you think
heroic to me.
Well,
wound.
Was it at least a nasty? Because I took on my heroic ignoble rank is currently nasty multiple.
I would. You can take the heroics for this. And what level?
I'm level 4.
Level 4, sure. Why don't you list that as heroics and call it enchanted? That you defeated it in the enchanted door. I do believe I remember Greg at the forefront there, trying to bust through and discovering the murder holes.
Yes.
He was ahead of me. I can tell you that much. That's exactly where I put him.
Me, I'm just in the back, flipping the latch.
Hey guys, run down the center. Run down the center and don't worry about those little holes up there.
I'm a half away of joining Tony. I need a half of prudence or forethought. We're not getting on this battle, but sometime in the future.
If you can convince the party to not go back to a previously abandoned course, like the bottom of the map, I will allow you to check that. But the decision is Conrad's. Conrad, there are several blocks left undiscovered at the bottom of the map. There are some in the center, or you can continue the course now that you're past the door, and Rusty will check his ignoble.
This is the high runes, you say?
It's as good as any.
Yes,
I don't want
high runes, right?
I don't want to shatter his dream and say that I just randomly generated this map from the Space Gamer website, but so I won't say that you can generate these maps on the Space Gamer website. We can.
Did you say spacegamer.com, Red? Is that what?
Yes, exactly. Spacegamer.com. Have a little bit of...
and if you put the phrase "red" in your application, you get a full 10% off.
That's right. If you yes. If you apply, if you use my name in the box, people will think you have some sort of authority in there. So Conrad, you can go north or west from this position.
If we go down towards the bottom, then Rusty does not get his level. Is that what I'm understanding?
That you control his fate for the moment. Yes,
so you do, and you control yours because I throw a nasty fireball.
So to go into new and uncharted, dangerous areas boldly would get Rusty his level, but to go into the prudently smart areas that we've previously discovered would hurt Rusty. Is that what I'm understanding?
I'm afraid so.
Yeah. So boldly, of course, we will boldly go.
Thank you.
Does that mean here, or does that mean something
north or west from the door where we got Ernie there?
Let's go west then. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I can go north too. Let's see. Yeah, let's go north. For being
north toward the corner of the map.
Yep.
And Rusty, you can take that advancement, your skills and your triple rolls at your leisure as we move along.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Stallari, Bariari.
And
I got my level 1 waiting in the wings. I mean, level 0 waiting in the wings.
In order to continue on this direction, Conrad, we'll need to run past the guards on the stairs. And the guards on the stairs, we've done this before. It's a sunder shields under
sunder shield wall. Okay, under conflict of arms still.
It is. It's a sunder shield wall on Q and D if we decide to move in that direction. But that decision goes to Conrad. Conrad, did you want to progress to sunder shield wall and move past that around the corner here, or did you wish to retreat? Oh, there's no retreat, I would think.
This would be a tough time for our new level 8 to die in the battle. So let's proceed with assuming he won't.
Yes, let's assume he won't would be the appropriate
Sorry,
thing.
Greg.
Or soak off in that. And the die has moved. Coincidentally, the last time a combat die was on Rusty, so it goes to you, Conrad. You get the first result on sunder walls. How about a 6?
6 again, for gosh sakes.
Oh, 6 are the best.
6 are the worst. Counter a strong but predictable enemy. Fail and suffer vicious wound. Difficulty 9. Advantage swaggering feigns. I, as in indigo, and I do not have feigns. The ship does not have no disease. I assume I cannot use that anyway.
The ship has no disease, but we don't have no disease in our party ashore.
Right, correct.
Yeah, we really took it on the chin.
And I do not have any other option. So it's a 9 to pick up feigns, correct?
Yes, and also yes, exactly, to pick up feigns.
I am going to burn my Fury Pip.
Okay, this early? You can always burn a make roll.
But those were brought over from last week, right? We did not reset those.
That is correct.
So I do not want to burn those. So let me burn my Fury Pip plus 2.
You got it.
So I need a 7 on 2 dice to pick up feigns. And I rolled a 14.
Rolling a 14, you've made it. You picked up feigns, and also you did not suffer a vicious wound. I go over to Greg. Here comes your card on Sundering Shield Wall. It is a Pope card. Someone wishes to post that in the chat. I don't have to scramble to look for it.
Okay. If the players are defending in a siege, they must try to prevent a magical portal from causing catastrophic loss. If they If they fail, the citadel is taken by the enemy. Well, we're not defending in a siege.
We're not defending a siege, but we are in the underworld in a special case of this. So I'm going to interpret that the guys on the stairwell have opened a portal that we need to close now.
Sure.
So
Okay.
let's go to that table, closing the magic portal.
Okay.
And we'll give you a card on that instead.
All
It
right.
seems like a rusty thing.
Well, it's a brave thing. The newest elevated Stallari in our group is taking us into the unknown here. How about a justice card? What is that going to put us at magical gates? Justice.
Oops, sorry,
Okay.
I did wrong.
Is that the wrong? Okay, wrong
I
one.
still have his conflict of arms as justice, but that's not correct.
It is the same.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay. Any stress on the longboat's techniques could be critical. From here on out, keep track of any 3 dice advantage attempt or any event that mentions and utilizes one of the group's longboat techniques. After the battle, all those exploited techniques, one by one, will only be retained once the highest level player character of the group rolls success at ordinary. If the boat is left crippled and foundering, no techniques. Let the players attempt repairs for at least one salvageable technique. However, the mission's overall success could be imperiled if the party is left crippled and trapped.
I will keep track of any longbow techniques that seem to be stressed. Your card on Magic Gates.
It was inverted as well, so if the group's vessel is longbow democracy, which we do, a failed result in the next event means that a technique is also lost.
I didn't think the Hierophant was inverted. Oh, yes, it is. The Justice was inverted. Forgive me. I was thinking back a card. How about if we say longbow democracy is possibly lost, and also, Greg, you're still your game with death.
Yeah. Okay, the servitor soldiers plead for state leadership. The player may not select full-out charge actions. Ignore any result that would move there. Are we inverted?
No need to worry there. But we are stressing abundant stores. But we do not have any abundant stores at the moment, so that's not going to make any difference. And a knight on gates.
Knigget.
Silly Knigget.
Clicking. Here we go. Just like you asked.
All right. Consult with mystics and lore guides. Pray for divine or Zare intervention. Success in the enemy spellcasters were thwarted and broken. Upon failure, continue to try and close the gate. Difficulty 9, advantage, longboat arcane sentinel F. Well.
Wait, because we're on magical gates now. That's what it is. Okay.
I don't know if we have Arcane Sentinel or not.
We do not have it with us, so you cannot pick up the advantage of F. If you have the magician tricks of wizardry of demonic.
I do not. I have Mount Radiant and Disarming Blows at F.
Yeah, if you don't have demonic would be the only thing you can cover for the longboat. So you're going to have to roll to see if you pick it up, or you can certainly make roll if you wish. Although your make rolls are quite short, as I remember.
I'm only down one make roll, but
okay.
Yeah, I can afford a make roll here. I mean, it does protect the boat if I do this, right?
Well, it actually, we pick up Arcane Sentinel, which is nice. We defeat the Magic Gate portion of our program, and so far we've only stressed that in this battle.
And we wouldn't lose democracy, so it's a good one.
Yes, and we won't lose democracy. And there was another one as well associated with it or not for the last one? Either or. The make roll has come, and we
was
have.
That there? I mean, they were pleading for state leadership.
The stairs have not been conquered yet. Thank you for whoever is marking our Arcane Sentinel and keeping me honest. And we're back still trying to. Sunder Shield Wall. We've defeated them from opening a gate and porting in other monsters, other enemies, but we still need to roll to sunder their shields and disperse them. We go over to Tony. Tony, how about if I give you a knave card?
A knave? Why, thank you. Knaves are wonderful. And this is no longer gates. This is back to Sunder Shield Wall?
It is.
Correct.
Sorry,
okay.
I put the ace in there. I don't know why I did that.
I do like the ace, but you're just taunting me. I know. Okay, twist and hold an enemy's shield and cut loose his arm straps. Remove just a few and interlock line.
Yeah, but that would be the ace. We're gonna put a knave in there just to say.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have the knave for some reason. It's showing me.
Okay, how about if I just grab it and post it then? It's going to be uncontested. Dagger thrust is the actual advantage in case that doesn't show up. But here it comes.
Okay, by magic or subterfuge, a squad or the enemy has infiltrated your ranks. Fail, and all players take actions on rally. Ooh. If the war party has a contingency of longbow that represents the technique longbow treachery expunged of G. Hey, we do got G. Good.
We do, but it's not with us.
But not with us.
Yeah.
Difficulty reduced by 3. Against large plus adversaries? No.
They are not.
Increased by 3. Difficulty 9. Advantage. Swagger. Uncontested dagger thrust, which I have. So I am 3 dice of a 9.
To avoid the rally, 3 dice of a 9. You're going to have to start knifing the people who have infiltrated our ranks. Hey, you're not one of us. Hey, you're not one of us.
I knife a few people.
You probably made some decisions to get rid of a few malcontents, I would think, that you don't care for at the same time. It is that sort of game. I move over to me, see if I can get the win. A 7 under sunder. And it says, respond defensively after being knocked prone. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Flare. Oh, I'm tongue-tied. If the adversary is foul, the injury results in immediate death. Well, they are not foul, luckily. Effective spurning, H. I will look at my personal swaggering, and effective spurning I have. I'm going to roll 3 dice for a 9 to avoid the vicious wound. And first roll, and I made it. Okay, so, and I go over to Rusty. Rusty, how about a 9 for you on Sunder the Shield Wall?
Okay.
Be right with you. 9, you say?
A 9, yes.
And which screen is I'm pasting this in?
Did you get your level advancement yet, Rusty?
Yes,
take your skills?
I took my skills.
Which skills did you get?
Let's see. I got barber, surgeon.
Barber, that's how you're going to spend your lordly continuum?
Linguist and farrier breeder.
Okay, well, those are all good skills to have. And it's posted now. Sunder 9, please.
Okay, hold firm against repeated strikes. Fail, and all players return to skirmish. Difficulty 11, advantage, trait rugged. I am trait rugged. All right, let's see here. And made it on the second roll.
Made it on the second roll.
Didn't even need the third roll.
Didn't need the third roll, but you want to take it when you have it. A fail and the players return to skirmish. We're not going to return to skirmish. I go to Conrad. Conrad, would you like a card of a sun?
Kinda.
Yeah, probably.
If the next event result is a success, the player may select any longbow technique, A to T, as an additional reward. This technique may be brought with the vanguard off the vessel.
Well, that's nice. So let's see what your actual event is, and it's a queen.
Double. Queens are always good. Let me do a quick paste here. Get in there and do what you do best. That would be slaughter, success, and rout the enemy. This battle is over and won. Difficulty 7, advantage, skill duelist. Skill duelist is under, I think I've looked this up before.
Nobility.
Bold. It's under bold for fencer, and I am in fact a duelist, which means I'm rolling 3 dice, and I have the Fury Pip turned on, so I'm rolling for a 5. 3 dice looking for a 5. I think I'll roll that just to demonstrate my boldness, and that's a 10, which is a success.
Good job.
And that
we
was
have
an inverted
defeated
queen,
them,
by the way.
and you may pick any of the longboat swaggering, and we will take it both on the boat and ashore. So.
I personally would like if you picked Killer Inst or not, sorry, N, Vermin Free.
Yeah, Vermin Free. I was going to pick Vermin Free because that's the way I roll.
Yeah, would you like to do our honors there, Tony?
I will take the honors and done.
Sounds good. And we are back on the High Ruins map, and I move the peg over to Greg. Greg, do you see us in the upper corner there, sir?
Tony, I've made the correction to that one storming walls. Here. If you refresh your file at whatever your convenience.
Okay.
We are in the upper corner, you said.
We are. We can continue down that hallway to the west. Or
sundering the wall was of no benefit to the level 5s.
On the wrong map. Hang on. What are we, Wet Ruins?
High Ruins.
High Ruins. There we go. Oh, yeah. So we can neither... I say we continue this way. That's our chit that I'm moving?
It is not. Are you possibly on the correct map or yeah, move it again.
High Ruins.
It's
there we are.
It's in the upper northeast corner.
That guy. I just didn't drop him.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
And where to, Greg?
Yeah, well, Lord. I'm just gonna.
And where to, Greg? Oh, does he dare go one more? If you go one more space, you'll be in the upper corner of the map on the other side.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Uh-oh.
I don't remember ever a time in a fantasy game where let's see what happens or I'll roll dice to decide has been the correct. No, that's perfectly fine. What does that represent? That danger, Will Robinson. We're going to use cultists. Any major tarot knocks the player out of the battle until a reshuffler of the player's entire party is ousted. Any result of flee is instead treated as a vicious wound to a random person. Q&D cultists. It's not a terrible table. It's not the worst of the tables, but it is
Fighting cultists and curse riders. Page
yes, it is exactly. It is a Bane table.
Great.
And I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is. It's on 182.
Yeah, mostly Banes. Got it.
Well, they are Banes. What you're doing is success in enemy magic use is neutralized, or we all have to suffer at least one result. So the die is going to Greg. Greg will get the first flip for this as well. And Greg, how about a 9?
A 9, thank you. All right. Up until a moment ago, the drumming in your head could have been your heartbeat firing on adrenaline. Suddenly, that beat had syncopation. Counterpoint and even horns. Discover means to deafen this rising pain, perhaps by cutting down one of many who focus this skill on you. Fail and knocked unconscious. Flare. Strange Insight awards the character Wizardry Psionics D. If the character lacks skill Occult Scholar, the difficulty increases by 5. Difficulty 8, advantage Blade Knightly G.
All right, so you can pick up Wizardry Psionics. That's a freebie. Are you an Occult Scholar, Greg?
Where is that skill?
Is it under the priestly ones?
I am not.
The monastic ones? Yes, it's under monastic methodical.
I don't have it.
Okay.
I do not have it.
Oof. Becomes a 13. Ugly.
Yeah.
13 on 2 dice, or you're knocked unconscious. The advantage is Blade Knightly. Do you have Blade Knightly?
I don't. Can I make roll this?
Well, you can if you wish to use it. It's only a knockout, though.
Yeah, it is safe.
It's safe unless we all are knocked out.
I didn't make it.
You missed the roll, but you're just knocked unconscious by the massive drumming and the cultists themselves have overwhelmed you. I go on to
migraine.
You still got the psionics.
Oh,
yes,
do I?
you do pick up.
Yes.
Yes, you automatically pick up wizardry psionics from the experience, Greg.
That sounds like a success to me, Greg. You picked up a swaggering.
And here comes your queen, Tony.
Queen. The ground soaked by the cult in acrid fluid. Your sagum-covered nostrils begin to burn. Fail and suffer a vicious wound. Regardless, enemy magic use is neutralized. If the character lacks skill berserker, the difficulty increases by 5. Difficulty 8, advantage trait rugged. Well, I'm rugged. Let's see if I am a berserker.
It's under energetic.
Energetic.
Thank you,
I
Russell.
am a berserker. So I'm 3 dice, 7 8.
3 dice of an 8, yes.
I have succeeded.
Okay, and it also says, regardless, the enemy magic is neutralized, so we have passed that obstacle. Woo-hoo. And that moves the die over to you, Tony. Where would you like to go? You can go south from the position you're at, or you can go south from any of the 3 opposing corridors you passed, or you can send yourself in any any area of the underworld. In fact, you could go to the very bottom of the map again if you wished, since we've already moved Rusty over to his objective.
I'm all for completism, so I'm up for completism, just like Greg and perhaps a few others. So let's go south.
I'm all up for
We can always complete after we take out the Lynch.
Oh, there's the fun in that, though. If you've defeat a Lich, there's no reason to continue on.
Yes, for looking for the treasure rooms.
Oh, that's true. We are looking for treasure. Well, this happens to be a treasure room. Let's see who's actually in this one. In the High Ruins. In the High Ruins, the first guy. Oh, it is the radical heretic Berenger. His defensive modifier is -1. And we love this table. It's the subcommander table. We need to first make him vulnerable and then defeat him. Did this get in the in your tool yet, Conrad, or do I need to?
It is. It's in the tool.
Super. All right. Well, then let's figure. It starts with me. Well, that's apropos. How about if we start with a 9 for me? And a 9 says, I buffet him into defense. Success in subcommander is slain. He does not suffer this result until he's vulnerable. If he's not all vulnerable, fail, and I'm shaken. Any swaggering K on a 13? Do I have a K? I have a scintillating blade. Well, I have pyrotechnics too. Boy, I'm actually becoming quite skilled with this character. I will use my scintillating blade, and I will try to roll myself a 13 on 3 dice, rolling twice, in order to keep from being shaken. And here comes the first one. And here comes the second one. That is a pair of 12s. Neither one is a 13. I am shaken.
So sad.
And just while I have you as well, we had Arcane Sentinel we used in the last battle. We do have an Arcane Sentinel on the ship. We should test it, Rusty. You need to make a ordinary roll of 2 dice for a 3 in order.
We gained Arcane Sentinel, not we used it.
We did, but there was a flare that every one of our longboats that we use will be stressed by an ordinary roll.
But we
have Stallari. This is sort of academic anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I thought we gained it though. We didn't use it.
You did. That is correct. You gained it with the result, but the Major Tarot said that after the battle we would stress it. I go to Rusty with the card. Rusty, to defeat the subcommander, we need to make him vulnerable. How about a 9? That would be the same as mine. That's not
same. That's not a good card.
13, or you are shaken.
Let's see. Advantage any swagger K, and I have let's see here. Heroic swordplay, scintillating blade, and pyrotechnics glorious. So I'll use my pyrotechnics.
I see you're slacking on the resolute mount.
Yes, I am slacking on most of the mounts. Let's see. So let's see. I need a 13 on 3 dice. Okay. Got it in the first one.
And you are not shaken like me. We go over to Conrad. Conrad, here comes your card flip. How about the moon?
The double 9 did not mean anything, correct? We did not.
The double 9 and 2 9s in a row do not mean anything. There's no repeating will result in the ability to get vulnerable or slain.
Any failed roll on a Bane must be attempted by the next player in sequence. Rusty's was in fact a Bane on the last one, by the way.
That would be from going forward, and that actually counts as your action, Conrad. So we go over to Greg. Greg, with any Bane, needs to be repeated. And Greg, you got yourself an 8.
An 8. All righty.
What I was saying, Red, was I think we gave Rusty the wrong result, but that's okay.
Oh, we gave him a wrong result because
we gave him the non-Bane, right? We gave him the non-Bane.
Well, so, it was a hard roll. He is a Stallari.
Sorry.
He used his his persuasion ability on us.
So did we get an 8 Bane on me as well here?
Yes,
8 Bane on you,
Yep.
Greg. Go ahead and read it out.
Okay. Yep. Rely on the old standbys. Fail in all characters. Lose trait clever strategic benefit of negating a swagger loss. If this event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Regardless if in this action the players face Keeper Lord Thompson, A random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9, advantage, any swagger type N.
We do not suffer the lore of Thompson, and you may pick any N result. Either pick one you do not know and try to pick it up on a 9, or pick one you do know and roll 3 dice for a 9.
I don't know any, so it sounds like I'm rolling 2 for a 9 and trying to pick it up.
Which one would you like to roll against? The wizardry is always the most useful, and that would be against the hexes. Or I should say voltaic.
Voltaic. No.
No voltaic, and the failed result is we lost our strategic no clever.
Yeah, you can't use the trait clever.
Characters lose trait clever.
I think we've lost the clever, basically taking away last adventure.
We lost it last week.
But if there's any level 5 clever benefits, those
we're so clever we wouldn't use them anyway.
You know what we're also not doing, though, is we're also not doing that def mod of -1. So we probably, starting with our old friend Tony, we're going to start implementing that. Here comes your card, Tony.
No.
Actually, no. Yeah,
that's right. It's I was going to click, and I realized, yes, you're going to just go ahead and do the same Bane of 8, Tony, since we're doing that twice in a row with that last card.
All right, so I'm looking for a 10 on 3 dice. I'm going to just use my killer instinct, which is this is K. No, any swaggering N.
N is a Nancy.
Oh gosh, okay, and it's a Nancy. So I'll just use my killer instinct, which is glorious, because I want to make this for the party, so we all don't suffer. So someone randomly doesn't suffer a vicious wound.
Or the Hemendra that we got with us doesn't suffer the vicious wound.
Did not. Because he failed. It says if not. I'm sorry, I misread it. So you have
the
to fail
event is
twice.
failed twice by the party. It would be Greg was the first one, and if Tony was the second one, he's saying. And we could still go around to another person. There's plenty of other 8s in the deck that could happen. But that is a no random vicious wound for anyone in the party. The character does not lose the trait clever, and also the difficulty 9, any advantage swagger type. You did not try to lock your ends, or do you have all your ends?
No. Actually, I tried to lock one of them last game, and I lost Blade Impetus. I need to get it back, but it's a 10. I probably should have rolled. Oh well, it's too late. I already rolled the dice.
No, I'll let you roll it. Now that you've reasoned it out, since
don't do it.
3 dice for a 10. You're rolling 3 times.
He rolls 2 dice for a
10. I need to
2
pick
dice
up.
for a 10, but you're rolling 3 times.
Don't be a fool.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so you picked up your impetus. We're back to Rusty. How about a 3, Rusty? Let's see if we can get this guy vulnerable.
Be right with you. 3.
Not
inverted.
There you go.
Straight up.
Oh, that's Bane. Sorry,
that's a
Bane. It's my force of habit with Rusty.
I know. But we need to get him vulnerable. Let's see. Grapple success and subcommander is now vulnerable. In the future event, he may be slain. If already vulnerable, fail, and he loses that condition. Difficulty 11, advantage, any swagger T. Well, let's see. I have Cosmic Glorious, which will work.
Cosmic Glorious, you're rolling 3 dice for a 12.
Or I could try and pick up Mount or Blade. No.
You could.
Could, but I'm not going to.
3 dice, you made your 12 easily, so the guy is vulnerable now. He can be slain. I go over to Conrad. Here comes your card. It is a knave, unfortunately.
What the hell? What the freaking freak?
Wait. Let me clarify. 3. It was a Bane knave.
It's every card I've been getting is the Bane, the 6 or the knave.
Well, we blame the shuffle.
Panic on defense. Fail and subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he was that now, a failed roll inflicts vicious. Regardless if this is action, the player faces Duplicious Lord Dalton, and I do not. A random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9. Advantage any swaggering technique. O, as in Oliver. I have Carapace on my mount, and I have animate objects on my wizardly. So I'm looking for the 9, actually the 10, which I can roll on 3 dice, or I can roll 2 dice, as Tony did, and gain the O, correct?
You can.
Big dramatic moment there.
You fail, the commander is no longer vulnerable.
Don't fail, and someone's going to take a vicious wound.
This would seem like seem like an opportunity to be prudent and roll the 3 dice. So that's a miss, but I'm in fact level 5, so I roll twice, and I missed twice. So prudence is never the answer.
No,
so
it's
no longer vulnerable.
Prudence is never the answer if you're gonna roll and miss. If we do not have any vicious wound, Tony, we just made him not vulnerable.
Non-vulnerable.
If he was not vulnerable in the first place, then you would get the vicious wound. And we are not facing Dalton.
Or a freaking 10 with the 3 dice. 3 dice.
It happens. You can go back in the chat and find out where I did it.
I should have just done it with the 2 dice, for gosh sakes.
We go to Greg. Greg, how about a 7 Bane? That's probably not going to get him vulnerable.
7 Bane. Yeah, I don't think that's going to help much. All right. Explain the futility of Defiance. Fail and all characters lose trait. Lose trait energetic strategic. Benefit of Fury or Command Tip.
Wasn't that the card we drew that we'll double all the Banes?
Oh, that's true. If someone misses, does somebody have to roll? Since Conrad missed that, does someone have to roll the next one onto him?
Yeah, we should double them up. So, Greg, if you would like to back up, you got actually since Conrad missed that Knave Bane, you're going to have to suffer the same name Bane. If you would, somebody want to repost it, or can you scroll back up?
I can back up. This is defeat subcommander. Okay.
Yes. Bane. Thanks, Conrad.
All right. Fail and subcommander is no longer vulnerable if he was not that now. Okay. Failed roll. Oh. A failed roll inflicts vicious, regardless if this action the player is faced duplicitous Lord Dalton.
We do not.
Okay. A random character suffers a vicious one. Okay, never mind. Okay, so advantage 9, any swagger type O. Well, I have Carapace, Mount Carapace.
There it is.
That'll get you 3 dice. You need a 10 from his defensive modifier. 10. If you fail, you're gonna have a vicious, unfortunately.
Is this make rollable? I'm gonna run out.
If you wish.
Well, we have a soak.
It is 3 dice for 10. We do have a soak off.
Okay, 3 dice for 10 sounds pretty doable, huh? All right. There we go.
Woohoo!
And you are successful. Now, you did not actually. Well, you decided to use Carapace. You could also have picked a different one and tried to lock it. Or
suffer a vicious. I don't think so.
You're not viciously wounded already, are you?
No.
No. Okay, I don't think there's any wounds in the party. I'm over to Tony. Tony, the gentleman is not vulnerable. We got a queen.
A queen, great.
It's inverted.
Yep, it is. Prevent his magical restoration. Fail and subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he is not that now, a failed roll increases your warped outcome tally by half a die. Regardless, if in this action the players face demi-human consort Hemingway, I don't believe we do.
No, we already defeated her.
Yeah, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9. Advantage swagger D. Any D. I have. Okay, so it's a 9, so it becomes a 10, right?
It is a 9 becomes a 10, correct?
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to try to get treasure. No, we're not supposed to get treasure laden for the boat, huh? Okay. Well, all my other, I have.
No, you can actually roll on treasure laden for the boat right now and get it. That's fine.
I will roll 2 dice I will roll 3 dice and just succeed instead. See,
looking for 10. And you do not force that Bane on me. Flipping a card for me. We're still got to get him vulnerable again. How about a 3 Bane?
Ain't going to do with that.
3 Bane. It says overwhelm and claim the honor of the kill. Fail and all characters lose trait methodical strategic benefit, canceling defensive mod. If this event is failed twice, random player vicious. Regardless if this action, the players face Guild Insider Hudson. We do not. Trait energetic. Am I energetic? I am energetic. So I'm going to roll 3 dice, looking for an 11 to try to keep from losing the methodical trait. And I have successfully kept us from losing the methodical trait, but we are still stuck. Rusty, here comes a tower card for you. 2 people falling out of a lightning hit tower. I don't think it's going to be a good result, but go ahead and post it for us, please.
Almost there.
Let's see. The special wounds listed as flares increase in severity to outright slain. Oh gosh!
Wow,
the subcommands are
I'm ready to surrender.
Extremely deadly.
Wow!
Oh, gosh!
It's only one possibility. And where is this guy? Just so we can find Berenger. Berenger appears in the table. What is the card that we do not want to see? So I can Cassandra it and make it appear several times in a row by accident. I'm still looking. I'm up to 10s. Dalton and Enforcer Hudson. Hemingway. It's Inverted Kings. Inverted Kings are the cards that now could kill outright.
King Bane. Oh, boy.
Here comes Conrad's card. 8.
Oh. Sorry about that. I was gulping for a second. And paste. Defeat Subcommander 8. Get fancy and avoid the old standby. Success and the Subcommander is slain. He does not suffer this result until he is vulnerable. If not already vulnerable, fail and lose any swaggering. Difficulty 10. That would be an 11. And I'm using any swaggering type L as in Larry. And I have pure on my mount. So I'm going to use the pure mount to try to roll the 11 on 3 dice. And that was a success.
Over to Greg. I'm tempted to start picking cards for escape and let this guy have his domain. But here comes a 4, Bane, for you.
Man, is there anything that we don't pull up as a Bane?
That last one wasn't, but it didn't do as much good, did it?
No. All right, let's see it.
Not when he's not vulnerable.
Defeat Subcommander Bane by the numbers and be ready for surprises. Fail and all characters lose straight gifted strategic benefit of canceling warped outcome. If this event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Regardless, if it's isn't, we do not face Fey Ambassador Nox. Okay. Difficulty 9, advantage trait methodical. I am not methodical.
I think we lost those, didn't we?
So I need a difficulty of 10.
10 or we lose the gifted.
Yeah, whatever. There you go. Make rolling it.
You don't need to make roll that. If we lose the trait benefit gifted, it's one of the ones that's hardly ever used, Greg. Is that your last make roll if you use that?
I got 1 left.
Okay, well,
and only because I went up to level 4.
Dice played is dice played. You've canceled the you used a make roll there, and I go on to Tony. Tony, here comes your card. How about the world card?
World inverted, even great. Thank you. Defeat Subcommander World. All advantages change to longboat swaggering.
All right, we can pick up some longbow from this. It comes over to me and my result. Ooh, I saw that knight and said, "Is it a king? Is it a king?" Ooh. Okay, so the Bane Knight card.
I got you here real quick, Ray.
I don't want to die. Keep him from drawing or retrieving his favorite blade. Fail, and Subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he is not vulnerable, then you are shaken. Well, I would be shaken then, regardless. If the action the players face Enforcer Hudson, we do not. This whole thing is turning a little bit too deadly for me. I'm going to go ahead and apply my my energetic trait and get the fury before somebody either loses it or we die. So I'm going to roll this as an 8. And it's any swagger 8. I'm rolling twice. Do I want to game this? No, I'll just take disarming blows. 3 dice for an 8, rolling twice. And I have successfully not had that Bane. Rusty, here comes your card. 7.
Not inverted. I have not been getting my share of Banes.
Something's up tonight. That's all I can tell you.
I think we went out of order because Conrad's getting all my Banes. So.
It's the fact that Mike and Fred are not here. We got an odd number of people.
Okay, let's see. Strike now. Success as subcommander is slain. Oh, no. He does not suffer this result until he is vulnerable. If not already vulnerable, fail and suffer a half D8 increase in warped outcome. Let's see. Tally. Difficulty 10. Advantage. Any swagger type G.
Weren't we supposed to use the longboat ones, or did that not?
We are. It has changed the longboat, so it's longboat G. Let's take
Treachery
a look. And see
well, I've got celestial, but he
can use his it would be any swaggering, which in this case would be any longboat would be G, but he can substitute wizardry over longboat, Conrad.
Longboat. Yep.
Yeah, but I might as well just see if I can lock Ephorine. Is that Empyrean Mount? Imperium Mount. I'm going to try that. So let's see.
You can't use Imperium Mount because your choices will be either you're going to have to use a wizardry to cover for the longboat, or longboat is the actual result that you're flipping there. Because of the Major Tarot changed all of these to longboat.
Oh, we got a Major Tarot. I missed that.
Yeah. So a treachery expunged G, you can add it to the party ashore by successfully making it, or you can use 3 dice and get the advantage with your wizardry.
Got it. I think. What do I have to roll?
It would be an 11.
Okay, got it.
13
and I go over to Conrad. 5. Boy, I went to deck to reshuffle myself, but go ahead.
I was glancing at what options I had here real quick. So I paste this and I can read it. Defeat subcommander 5. Strength in numbers requires ferocity, stealth, complexity, and determination. Just the 3 things. Just the 4 things. Success and subcommander is now vulnerable. I got you guys. I got you covered here. In a future event, he may be slain if already vulnerable, fail, and shaken. Difficulty 11, that would be a 12. Advantage trait bold. I do not remember if trait bold has been lost.
It has not been.
My brain is saying no.
It hasn't been
taken away. We've really only lost energetic twice.
Okay, so we've lost energetic twice, which means I cannot do.
I'm sorry, we lost clever twice.
Clever twice.
Yeah.
Okay, which means I cannot use. Oh, it means I can use the command pip, right?
Yes, you can use the command pip.
Let me use the command pip from my energetic trait at level 5. Once per venture, you may gain a command pip. So it's a 2. Add 2 to that roll, so it's now a 9. And I am also a bold fellow. Let me confirm that. Yes, I'm a bold fellow. So I'm rolling 9 on 3 dice to make him vulnerable, and I'm rolling twice.
But the defense modifier 1, just to keep you honest.
So it should be a 10, correct? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, my math was off there. And the second time is a 17, which is successful, creating a moment of high drama for the party.
He is vulnerable for the moment. As we come over to Greg.
Requires ferocity and high drama.
Star, Greg.
Star's always good.
Please cancel the major effect of already in play.
That's what it
Yes, cancel the effect of any major terror influencing combat. He's no longer delivering killing blows.
That's a good thing.
I'm happy
and
about
we're
that.
no longer has to be a longbow technique. Is that true?
That is correct. That is another one that's a significance on that.
And we're not rolling doubles on. We're not rolling doubles on.
No,
Banes.
We're not taking double Banes either. And 6 of Banes for you, Tony.
Oh,
that's
thank
good.
you. Yeah, perfect.
So we're getting them. We're getting them one at a time now, the old-fashioned way.
Didn't test yet with a defensive posture. Fail, and subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he's not that nail, okay. Regardless of this, in the action, the players face slave master Khrushchev, which we don't. Okay. Difficulty 9, advantage, any swaggering type R. And it's a 10. It's a 10 on speed and guile. Okay, I am locked glorious on speed and guile. So what the heck? I'll roll 3 dice on that.
3 dice for 10.
There you go.
Okay, so we didn't sacrifice. The guy is vulnerable. Here comes my card. Ooh, devil card.
The devil.
And the devil says that after any failed roll, regardless of any result, additionally causes the loss of swaggering. That's not nice. And Rusty, for you.
Is that going forward? Or
yes.
Is that just the next time?
That is for as long as we're fighting this Berenger guy.
Oh, you have some nasty major tarots in this.
Yes. Oh no, we've been lucky on these tables to date. You're starting to see the cumulative effect of just bad statistics.
Start to wonder who this guy works for. He seems rather glorious all on his own. Fail and shaken, regardless if in this action the players face Slave Master Cotton, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9. Advantage, any swagger choice must roll to lock as glorious.
So you have to pick any of your swaggering that you have that are not locked as glorious, and you have to roll that roll of a 10 with the defensive modifier to try to lock it as glorious.
Okay, so
not a bad result for you.
No. Well, let's see. Let's do voltaic and lock that if we can succeed.
10 on 2 dice, rolling 3 times.
Locked. Okay.
First roll. Conrad, here comes your card.
Yikes.
And it's an ace, but it's a bane, unfortunately.
It's the same one that Rusty just got. So
yep, same thing Rusty got.
Wonder who this guy works for. He seems rather glorious all on his own, blah, blah, blah.
Fail and shaken. Pick a skill a swaggering that you have and try to lock it as glorious.
Let's see. Something that is not glorious that I would like to make glorious. I believe the one to attempt is Killer Instinct.
Sounds good. Give me a 10 on 2 dice.
And I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to burn my remove defensive modifier, because 10 seems like a hard roll for me this evening. No, I'm going to boldly step forward. Killer Instinct on a 10. Oh, there's 1 and number 2. Nope, that's a bad day for me.
So you're shaken going forward.
I'm bold, so it's only for 1 round, and I lost Killer Instinct.
Correct. On your next action, it'll be that you're shaken. And
it does not make him non-vulnerable, correct? It just makes me shaken, right?
That is correct. It does not take away his vulnerability. Greg, that king is an ugly thing at this moment. Go ahead and post and read it out.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. Isn't that, didn't we cancel the effect of all major tarots, so he's not doing slains on this one?
He's still doing a vicious.
He still does do a vicious.
Okay. Well, don't fail, Greg.
All right. If they can assess, fail and lose swaggering, regardless. If in this action the player faces Radical Heretic Berenger, a random character suffers a vicious. Difficulty not advantage, any swagger type B. All right. Well, I certainly have a swagger type B. In fact, I have 2 of them.
Woo!
I have Better Valor and Psionics. Doesn't matter which one I pick, right?
Doesn't matter which one you pick. It's a roll of a 10.
3 dice of a 10. All right. Oh.
Greg, you may take a longboat swaggering from the group if you don't want to lose one of your own. And I would say, sure, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, absolutely, sure.
How about if we lose democracy?
Oh.
Which is always Mike's favorite when he's here. But a random player character, as in the Hemendra, king, is killed by that action.
No,
and
suffers a vicious.
Burn a rugged rather than that, Red?
It just takes a vicious.
Just takes a vicious.
Well, but that's like having a Tony soak off, step in front of the blow, and he takes the blow for one of us. Now,
can we roll and then attempt it and lose it as a rugged, or have him, or for example,
okay. I'll roll to see who's got it. We got 5 guys. Let me roll a die. I'll go around the table. If I roll a 6, 7, or 8, I'll re-roll it. And a 2, that would be a Conrad. Conrad, your choice. Do you want to burn your rugged, or do you want to kill the king of the Hemendra?
I will burn my ruggeds because I have that. We'll get that reset next week.
We do get that reset next week. So fine. You have kept him alive, and he's grateful for that. We move on to he tried to step in front of the blow, but you stopped him from doing it. We are still in battle here, though.
Yep, still in battle.
Where the heck's my Stallaris? Where are
vulnerable.
my Stallaris? I got 2 of them in the group. Can you get this done, people? I made them.
Tony, how about a 3 Bane for you?
Oh, God, a freaking Bane.
There's been a lot of Banes.
Yeah,
Rusty gets Banes all the time. And
1,
somehow
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row so far. Yeah.
Okay, overwhelm and claim the honor of the kill. Wait, this is Bane. Yes, okay. Fail and all characters lose the trait methodical. Strategic benefit of canceling defensive modifier. This event has failed twice by the party. A random character suffers a vicious wound. Regardless if in this action the player's face Guild Insider Hudson, nope, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 10, trait energetic. I am energetic, so I'm looking 11 to overwhelm and claim the honor of the kill. Is this will kill him?
No, you're actually reading the text, but not the result. Unfortunately, what you're doing is you're knocking us out of the way to claim the honor of the kill, but all you're doing is keeping us from using our methodical traits in the battle.
Okay.
So you're trying to prevent that. So give me an 11.
There you go.
Trait energetic, I take it you had, and yes. So we have not lost the methodical trait still. It comes over to me. And a 2. It's a 2 of a chance to win. Though he seems invincible, there is always luck. Success and subcommander is now vulnerable. If he is already invulnerable, increased warped outcome. Gifted. I am not gifted. It is the one I do not have. It would be an 11.
No, he made a make roll. We didn't lose it.
It's an 11 down 2 because of my Fury Pip. I need a 9 on 2 dice in order to keep from increasing warped outcome. And I have made it. I go over to Rusty. Rusty, here comes your card. How about the Lover's card?
Oh, no.
Not inverted. What the frick is going on here?
Not another major tarot.
It says a minion or captive. No, it says a second subcommander arrives at the action. The player is now faced and defeat 2. Each must be rendered vulnerable. It actually, to defeat this guy, would be not that bad. Because what we're going to find out is the Lich in this underworld is actually using his Egyptian relic to render people in awe. So he has taken back control of the Hemendra, and now we fight the Hemendra as well as subcommander Berenger. The benefit of this, though, is the fact that when we face the Lich won't be able to turn the Hemendra on us then. So small consolation, but we're fighting 2 guys. I go to Conrad. One of them's vulnerable, one of them's not. Conrad, how about the Magician card?
Well, it did say the...
so you're saying we're fighting the guy that Conrad saved?
Yes.
This says the arrival nullifies any vulnerability which has been discovered.
You mean as the result of the card flip?
Yes.
The Lovers?
Yes.
Let's see what the Lovers says. It says, this arrival nullifies any vulnerability which has been discovered. You need to find weaknesses twice more and slay each. Thank you for being the completist there, Conrad. And keeping us honest.
If Mike was here,
we have 2 guys that are vulnerables and 2 guys that are slain. At least.
Let me get this straight. Yes. I made him vulnerable. I saved the guy, and then he turned on us. I just want to put it in perspective here. What's happening?
I will point out that he is being magically manipulated.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever.
And so it's the reason why non-humans are not really liked and trusted in Outlands, because
I am currently what is the word?
Everything turns to wizardry swaggering. I go to Greg. Greg, how about a 7 of cups for you?
I was shaken though before, so that was my round of shaken, since I am in fact bold and only suffer 1 round of shaken.
That is correct then, yes.
The
7 Bane.
Wait.
Could Rusty start getting some Banes or something? Could the coolers get some of these Banes off of us?
I would definitely prefer that versus the worthless, if they're vulnerable, but I can't slay them because they're not vulnerable.
All right. Explain the utility of Defiance. Fail and all characters lose trait energetic again. If this event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers a vicious wound, regardless.
That would be the result. So if you fail, you suffer vicious here, Greg.
Okay. Difficulty, advantage, any swagger type P. Well,
wait a second. We haven't failed energetic yet. We still have.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Paladin or Talking? I have them both. Doesn't matter. Okay.
3 dice for a 13. Did you want to? Are you energetic, Greg?
I am energetic.
You may want to activate your Fury Pip on this since we've got double the danger at this moment, and that would give you +2 on your rolls.
I think activating the Fury Pip sounds like a fine idea.
All right, so you're going to need an 11 on 3 dice to keep us from losing our energetic traits going forward.
Seriously.
It's a fight of 1,000 cuts, man.
Here you go, Tony. How about a 6 Bane?
Oh,
where the hell am I, Stallari?
This is an evil deck, I gotta tell you.
Who shuffled these, for God's sakes?
Wow, this has got to be some of the worst card flipping I've seen in a lifetime. But go ahead, Tony. Read a 6 Bane.
The defensive posture. Fail, and the subcommander is no longer vulnerable. That's okay. He's not vulnerable now. If he's not that now, failed will inflict the vicious on another random player character.
Thanks, Tony, for clarifying.
Yeah, the subcommander is vulnerable, isn't he?
No, the lover's card reset them.
Oh, jeez.
Difficulty 9, -1, make it a 10. Any swaggering type R.
They were just toying with us.
Well, what the heck? We'll just use the speed and we'll use gladiatorial. That's also locked as glorious. It doesn't matter. So there we go.
No vicious wound on us all. It comes over to me. Let's see if I can flip a non-Bane and get something going. Oh, the knave. It's non-Bane, but I don't think it's going to help us. Let's take a look. Exhaust him and break his spirit. Success in the subcommander is slain, but he's not vulnerable. So I could suffer a vicious here. Any H on a roll of an 11 for... Is it 11? 11 for me because of the Fury / +1 defensive modifier. That's H. I do have an H, effective spurning. Just to mix things up, I'll use Hefty from the mount. So my Hefty mount will step forward and try to defend and save me. I need an 11 on 3 dice, rolling twice. Woo! Got a 16 on that second roll. Here you go, Rusty. How about an 8?
Okay, the world is getting better. It's getting better. Rusty's soaking off the Banes for us. Get you real quick here.
It's not going to make them vulnerable. Okay, rely on the old standbys. Fail and all characters lose trait clever, which would mean benefit of a... Yeah, but we lose it again, and we're going to get the negative effect. Negating a swagger loss. If the event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers a vicious. Regardless, if in this action the players face Keeper of Lore Thompson, no. Random character suffers a vicious wound. Okay, difficulty 9, advantage, any swagger type N. All right, let's see. And
we should probably just melt this and get as many swagger as we can out of this long battle.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So
first you got to make a roll.
Fail and all characters lose traits, clever, strategic. Well, I'm going to go ahead and use my Voltaic Glorious. And because I don't want anybody, if I fail 3 times in a row. It's looking for a 10, right?
Looking for a 10 for you, correct? And there's 10 right there. I go over to Conrad. Let's see if we can work on the first guy.
All right,
how about a knave inverted? Bane. Gosh, there's some ugly cards coming our way.
Oh, wait, am I correct in that all swaggering techniques right now are supposed to be magic?
Is that true, or did we reset that?
We did have that popped up.
Did that happen before or after the reset?
After the reset.
Okay.
That was my last draw.
Okay. All right. That's okay. I had Spirit Guide in for my R, so I would have.
And Rusty used Voltaic for his as well. Yeah. So it would have been the cheating would have been me when I took the mount.
Yes.
Oh, you cheater.
But I could have actually gotten a wizardry technique, perhaps. So, again, I'm cheating myself as well as others. Thank you, Tony. We'll try to remember that. This is a very complicated battle. Go ahead, Conrad.
This is not complicated at all. Defeat Subcommander Bane, Knave, panic on defense, fail, and Subcommander is no longer vulnerable, which he was not to begin with. If he is not that now, a failed roll inflicts a vicious wound. Regardless, if in this action the player faces Duplicious Lord Dalton, which we do not, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 9, advantage, any swaggering type O, which in this particular case would have to be the wizardry, I would assume.
Yep. That would be animate objects.
And I just by chance have animate objects. Can you imagine that? So I need a 10 on 2 dice.
A 10 on 3 dice with your, unless you're going to lock it to flourish.
Just the 3, yes. And that would be, the question would be whether I would want to burn my defensive modifier in this battle, which is going to last all night, it appears. Is that correct? Once permission, you may sacrifice. No, that's not it.
It's a methodical trade.
And that is, I do not have, so it would not be that. So I'm looking for, I got 3 dice, looking for the 10. And here we go. Big 10, big 10. We're turning it around, baby.
Okay, so no fail there, but no advantage there as well. Greg, a knight for you.
Mm-hmm.
Knight, but it is not a bane, so it's probably something great.
That was my first non-bane. All right.
Oh, you need to be able to do this.
The success and subcommander becomes vulnerable. If already such he is slain, the battle is over. But fail and suffer a vicious wound. Difficulty 10, advantage any swagger type E.
Any swagger actually is E and wizardry. That's where we're at with that.
Well, I do not have precognition.
Big 10, Greg. Big 11.
Let's ask the other question, though, Greg. Do you have a methodical trade?
I do not.
You do not? Okay, so you cannot cancel defensive modifier. You need 11. You activated your Fury. You need a 9. It's a 9 on 2 dice to pick up Wizardry E and make him vulnerable.
He can also use his energetic, and he can put in.
He's already got the Fury Pip. He already did that.
Oh, we lost the energetic.
Oh, pardon.
If you haven't done the one, yes. Greg lost it for us.
He had done it right before he lost it. And I had done it a few turns before that, so.
All right. So I have the Fury Pip.
So
that's a 9 on 2 dice to pick up E.
Oh
God!
Oh!
Somebody throw that man someone throw that man a command pip.
What was that about not being able to make a roll? That's
I've got the other Greg's dice tonight.
If here comes
fail and suffer a vicious wound.
Yeah, it said he took a vicious. Are you rugged, Greg?
I am not rugged.
Greg, your character has taken a vicious wound. We go to Tony. Tony, you got yourself a 2.
A deuce.
And he missed the opportunity to make him vulnerable, too.
Yes.
Though he seems invincible, there's always luck. Success in subcommander is now vulnerable. In a future event, he may be slain. If already vulnerable, fail and increase warped outcome. Difficulty 10, advantage trait gifted. Well, I am gifted, so let's roll 3 dice and make him vulnerable. 11. There you go. Merely an 11.
Okay, so
one of them is vulnerable.
The Berenger is vulnerable. The Hemendra is not. Comes over to me, and I get a king.
Oh God.
Okay, so I get a king. I get a king Bade. Evade and assess, fail and lose swaggering. Regardless, if in action with radical heretic Berenger, a random character suffers a vicious wound. If that random character is Greg, we have seen him fall in battle. Any swaggering B. Let's find out first if I can keep from losing swaggering from the ship. Any swagger B, and it must be psionics. I do not have psionics. I am rolling for a 10 down 2 is an 8 to pick up psionics. Here comes my first roll, and I made it. I pick up psionics, no small consolation, and now we roll random. Die 8. Rusty is a 1. I'm a 5. And a 4. Tony, you have suffered a random vicious wound.
Oh, I guess I'll use my rugged on that.
Your rugged is absorbed. And we go over to Rusty. Here comes the card flip, Rusty. How about a 10? And it is a Bane.
It's a Bane, of course. All right. I love Banes, but it's not going to kill him. Okay. Let's see. Use deceit. Fail, and the subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he was not that now, a failed roll, loss of swaggering, regardless if in this action the player faces twisted offspring
Blucher.
A random character suffers a vicious. Difficulty 10. Any swagger type I, which would be magical I, right?
Correct.
Which is illusions, and I have it. Okay, so
3 dice for an 11. Okay, so we do not make him non-vulnerable again. I goes over.
I recommend we start reading the text a little slower and drag this out. Maybe we get through the day.
We want to reset by next week and get that rugged trait back. How about a 4 for you, Conrad?
Okay, a 4. That's a tough one.
Kill.
Surround. Get behind him for backstab. Success and the subcommander is now vulnerable. In a future event, he may be slain. If already vulnerable, fail and lose his swaggering. May I use this on Hemendra?
Yes, you may.
Okay, so I'm going to attack Hemendra.
And they both would be vulnerable if you end up making this roll of an 11 and swaggering S, which is what? Power words.
Power words, and I do not have power words, so I must ask myself, do I want to make this roll, or do I want to roll 2 dice and pick power words up? This is a tough decision.
You're gonna, if you make this roll, you're going to pick power words up with the make roll, right?
Yes, and so let me use the make roll.
I would think the make roll would be advisable at this moment.
So they are both vulnerable, and I have power words.
Okay, so you basically, yes, have chosen, has picked up power words, and now both of the subcommanders are vulnerable. Greg, you have a vicious
Stallari,
wound.
where you at? Where you at, Stallari?
Here you go, Greg. A 2.
Greg's out with a vicious wound.
No,
right?
Greg is not out.
He has a walking vicious wound. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, he could. You could swap to a level 0 character. What level of character are you, Greg?
4.
4. It is a lot of work. You have checked heroics so far this adventure, correct?
I have.
Didn't he get knocked unconscious way at the beginning?
No, that was in a different battle when we were trying to assault, I believe, the cultists.
Okay.
The previous run.
We're seeing a trend here.
Greg, if you wish to drop from this battle with your character at the moment, you can roll up a level 0, and we'll skip your turn for the moment, or you can risk it and go forward and check an ignoble for that.
Still vicious in this card, so why back out?
Well, yeah, there is no vicious in this card if you want to continue, but by continuing, you're continuing.
Well, I'm continuing. I was
Go
already
ahead, take the 2.
All right. Though he seems invincible, there's always luck. Success and subcommander is now vulnerable. In future event, he may be slain. If he's already vulnerable, okay.
Yes, they're both already vulnerable. It's for warped outcome, Tally, or not. Are you gifted, Greg?
Am I gifted? I am gifted.
Gifted, right, didn't we?
It is a result of an 11, down 2, because your energetic is a 9. 2 dice for a 9, please.
2 dice of a 9. All right. I cannot make a roll to save my life.
Well, you're going to increase your warped outcome.
You did know you did have senior rolls, right?
By 1, you increase your warped outcome by 1. But before we do that, Greg, let's get an ignoble for you. Which ones are you missing, sir?
Oh God! Adventure, crafty deeds, exercising prudence, growth.
No prudence there, buddy.
You can.
I was exercising prudence earlier, and I didn't get an ignoble for it.
You can check. You can check the adventure for this, please.
You got that.
And now,
what is on your funeral stone?
What is your total warped outcome?
Burn your corpse on
34.
34. Would you give us a 34, Tony?
Indeed. One moment here. There you go.
Go ahead and read it for us, Greg.
Consider the last magical action which was attempted, either success or failure. If you cannot clearly recall, roll randomly among the 20 wizardly swaggering. When performing that style of magic again, for the remainder of the character's life, his task resolution rolls are made at fury pit to the dice. This benefit does not affect combat, difficulties, or other rep-created Q&Ds, but chin high, you get some innate talents, son.
The last one that you used, I don't recall, but let's see if we can maybe find it.
I did use my swaggering psionics at one point back there.
Okay, well, let's call it psionics. So whenever you use psionics outside of a Q&D table, you are +2 to your dice. Go ahead and make a note of that, and you can also check growth if you have not checked it yet.
I have not, but I have now.
Yep. And how many ignobles out of level 4 do you still miss? Just the 1, prudence?
Prudence and crafty deed.
Prudence and crafty deed.
Now,
I'll let you check the prudence if you can get out of this battle successfully to the end. That is a who knows what, but they're both vulnerable. I'm going over to Tony. Here comes your card. It is a chariot.
Come on, buddy.
Great. A chariot.
Chariot's good. It's always
says, good. Oh, yeah, of course he uses magic. Doesn't everyone fail and increase warped outcome by half? Oh, wait. That doesn't. The chariot.
It's defeat, right?
All advantages.
All advantages change to mount. Of course, mount can be replaced by the longboat or by wizardry if we need it. And it comes over to my roll. In my roll, I got a King of Rods. Well, we like that. A King of Rods probably is a good card.
Not inverted, by the way.
We like the fact it's not inverted. Bark your commands and get organized. Come on, guys. Success and toggle the quest pip on. All right, that'll give us all +1. Any swaggering A, of which it's Mount A. Mount A is beautiful. I do have a beautiful mount. This is an 11 down to is a 9 on 3 dice. A 9 on 3 dice, so we get a +1 to our dice rolls. Yes, we're now all +1 from the quest pip.
Excellent.
So that nullifies the -1.
It does, but it also stays with us for the rest of this adventure, Rusty. Which is even better.
Maybe Greg can make a roll now.
Rusty, here it comes. It's a 10. It's a Bane.
10. That's unfortunate. The dude there laying on the ground.
I think he used all of his good luck on cards and good lucks on dice in the first hour.
10 swords stuck in that dude on the ground.
Let's see. Use deceit. Fail, and the subcommander is no longer vulnerable. If he was not that now, a failed roll forces loss of swaggering. Regardless, if in this action the player fate twisted offspring Blucher, a random character suffers a vicious wound. Difficulty 10, advantage any swagger type I. Okay, let's see here.
We're doing with mounts, so it's essential.
Yeah, I have essential. I also have glorious illusions. So, okay. So I've got 3 dice. I think that makes it.
3 dice to a 10 is basically the fail and no longer vulnerable. No, they're both still vulnerable. Conrad, here comes your card. How about a knight?
Hey,
that's how you do it, boys.
Come on.
This is how you do it, boys. This is what they're going to write about later. This is where the story changes. This is that moment where the music comes up and the colors are in the background.
Yeah, there's been like 50 cards here, most of them Banes in this battle.
Defeat the subcommander. Exploit a perceived weakness. Success, and the subcommander becomes vulnerable. If he's already such, he is slain, he or she. The battle is over. But fail and suffer a vicious wound. Oh, wait a minute. Vicious wound. Whoa. No one said vicious wound. Sorry. So I need to use Mount E as an Edward. Serene. I just by chance do not have Serene.
How about precognition?
And I do not have precognition.
And
we do have vigilant on the boat.
We do not have vigilante on the boat.
This is do or die. This is a moment, right? This is
what
it's here for.
This is it.
This is what I'm here. Okay, so it's a straight up 10.
It's straight up 10.
Up Serene, right?
Now, you can, at level 5, I believe, is there one that'll get you the catbird seat? Oh, it's only in the first action of the battle, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a 10 on 2 dice. Go ahead and see if we can get it.
This is it, man. With the Stallaris, they didn't get it done. 2 of them. There's 2 of them in the fight. They didn't get it done. So they're relying on me. What's this all
Stop
about?
complaining and roll your 10.
I'm filibustering, guys. If I
roll your 10, I know you're trying.
That's a whole hour. You have to filibuster.
You got an hour though.
But I'm level 5, so I get to roll twice. So there is high drama. Looking for the 10.
Drama. That's a pretty pathetic roll.
There it is, baby.
Hey, there's one of them.
There's one of them.
All right. We've killed Berenger because he's the one that's could possibly deliver random vicious wounds just by being in the battle. Now the Hemendra we need to defeat in order to win. So I'm going to go over to Greg. Greg, here you go, 4, sir.
Not inverted, 4. By the way.
Oh. All right. Defeat Commander 4 or Subcommander 4. Surround. Get behind him for backstab. Success and Subcommander is now vulnerable. In future, you may be even slain. If already vulnerable, fail and lose swagger. Difficulty 10. Advantage any swagger. Type S.
We're actually dealing with ominous from the mount.
Oh, it's from the mount? It's
power words from Magic.
I don't have Mount Ominous.
And the longboat, though, has no. We lost our democracy. That was a good.
Yeah, and that was great
pick for me as an enemy ref.
You know, this is perfect because I could have used uncontested dagger thrust, which I actually have, but we can't use it.
That is correct. Yes.
All right.
Perfect is probably a word choice that I would disagree with, but it is a 10. +1 for the defensive modifier, -1 for the quest pip. Down 2 for your fury is an 8. It is an 8 to pick up ominous on your mount.
All right. And if I fail, do I lose a swagger?
If you fail, you lose a swagger. Yes.
Come on, Greg. Make a roll.
Show the Stallari how it's done. Show him how it's done, Greg. Show him, buddy.
One roll.
Not just make this roll.
Well, it'd be your last make roll, wouldn't it?
It would be my last make roll.
It's just the swagger you're going to lose, not your life.
You're probably going to need the make roll when we take on the Lich.
Show him.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Double one.
Wow. Yeah, Greg, you're definitely evening out the statistics of this group.
You're having a bad night, Greg.
Yeah. I would say you need to check the corners on those things because they're rolling a little bit wonky for you. But
yeah.
All right.
So what swagger I lose?
Yeah. Well, we lose one for the boat usually. We just go ahead and suck it up and take it.
Stop taking swaggering off the boat. I know you love to hurt our boat, but stop it.
Well, I mean, it tends to be the de facto thing because the swaggering for the people are not permanent. Where the boat, if we get to start a new level, we're going to have 4 of those or 5 of those automatically anyway.
And the good news, Greg, is that took 3 minutes. So if we have 20 more of those,
it's Greg's choice. Greg, you may take a swaggering off yourself or the boat. Which would you like to do?
Well, the point is that it doesn't have to be an S swaggering. It can be any swaggering.
Any swaggering. Take it off the boat.
All right, take it off the boat. We get so many back.
Let's lose elite goals off the boat.
Oh, you won me.
I'll give you the half a break that it wasn't ashore. Okay, I'm going to go over to the next flip of the card. We're still facing one guy that's vulnerable, Tony, right?
Yes, indeed.
Tony, how about an 8 of Swords Bane?
Of course it's a Bane.
Of course it's a Bane.
It has to be.
It's coming for me, Tony. I'm going to finish it. You can do what you want, but it's coming. Just save it for me. I'll do it for you. I know you've just been sort of dawdling in this fight or anything, but okay. It's all right. It's coming to me. It's 4 people away. It's coming.
Fail and all characters lose trait, clever, strategic benefit of negating the swagger loss. We're already out of that, but it doesn't matter. If the event is failed twice by the party, a random character suffers vicious wounds. This is the second. Have we done this one before?
We've done this one 4 times.
Yeah, it's a random character vicious wound is what you're fighting for.
Okay, if this acts in the player's face, keeper of lore, nope. Difficulty 9, advantage, any swagger N, which is now has to be the
Mount Lucid.
And so we're looking at a 9. It's a 9, 2 dice. I can lock Lucid at Glorious. Yeah, what the heck? Let's try for
a random wound.
Random. It's not necessarily me. It's random person. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm cheating. That's 3 dice.
You need 2 dice, but it's the thought that counts. One more.
Oh, there's 1. Oh, there's 2.
And 1 more.
I made it.
Okay, you locked Lucid, which is probably what you should be milking this table more like this, Tony. Let's go over to my character, see if I can pull the Wheel of Fortune. All right. Wheel of Fortune, all of the bad, nasty things have gone away.
They can come back.
How about a 5 of coins for me? Yeah, they do. They could come again.
Does that mean I get my energetic back and we get our
No. That one was a penalty for the adventure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Strength in numbers requires ferocity. Success in subcommander is now vulnerable. If already vulnerable, fail and shaken. Advantage bold. I am bold. It would be 2 dice. I should say 3 dice. 4 and 11 down 2 is a 9. I should be able to get this one, and I did on my roll. I go over to Rusty. Rusty, how about a 2 for you, sir?
Oh, Rusty, you it, man, buddy. You're going to close it out here. You closing it out. This one's finishing him.
Though he seems invincible, there is always luck. Success in subcommander is now vulnerable. He's not dead. In the future event, he may be slain. Yes, if already vulnerable, fail and increase warped outcome tally by a half D8. Difficulty 10, advantage trait gifted. And I am gifted. So, let's see.
10 on 3 dice. Over to Conrad for the win. One guy left.
For the win.
Of course. Come on. Here you go, Conrad.
How about a 4 Bane?
Oh, man.
There it is.
Who shuffled those cards?
I want to know what the percentage of Banes is in the last one.
Who programmed the shuffle is what I want to know.
Red's got it. It tells you the number.
Who programmed the shuffle?
Some idiot. By the numbers and be ready for surprises. Fail and all characters lose the trait gifted strategic benefit of canceling warped outcome. We already lost that. Didn't matter. If this event is failed twice by the party, random character suffers a vicious wound. I don't remember this one coming up before. Regardless, if this is action,
it has come up before, but Greg made the roll to keep from us losing gifted.
Fair enough. Faces Fey Ambassador Nox, a random character suffers a vicious wound. We do not. So it's difficulty of 9. +1 is still 9. And it is trait methodical, which I do not believe I am. So it's a straight up 9.
Straight up 9 or we lose gifted.
And there it is.
Okay. And Greg for the win.
Drama. Wait a minute! I could have stalled a little bit there. I could tell you about my dice. Wait a minute! I get 2 rolls, don't I?
You do. You get 2 rolls.
Greg, your roll on dice is bad, and your luck in the game is bad. But at least that guy is defeated. How about a Bane King?
Oh,
1 minute's more of this.
Another Bane King.
Yeah, evade and assist, fail, lose a swaggering. Regardless, if in this action the players face Radical Heretic Berenger, which we don't anymore, random to character suffers a vicious.
Why don't we face him Radical Heretic Berenger anymore? Oh, that's right. Because I put it down.
Because he killed him. Because Conrad killed him. Yes, you did, Conrad.
With all the
Stallaris
in the group.
On orders of the Stallari, Conrad killed the last guy.
Okay, any swagger type B. I need a 9. What do I need? An 8 here on 2 dice?
It's a 9 +1 -1, but then 2 for your Fury Pip is a 7.
All right.
Any B that you can use.
There you go. For once.
Oh wow!
I mean,
you don't lose swaggering.
So I wrapped it all the way around. So I picked up
the boat. We come to Tony for the win.
You picked up a B though, correct?
Son.
Oh,
that gets rid of the negatives, right?
Ignore these special
on his mount.
injury flares delivered by subcommanders.
All right, winged mount.
All right, so the special commanders are no longer injuring us.
Tony did what? What did he do?
I'm protecting
Level
you.
8. So you rolled 3 rolls. He rolled 3 rolls.
He's taking count of the wounded on the floor.
He just said, "Oh well."
7
By
of
the way,
coins for me.
No special wounds.
The 7 of coins. Strike now. Success and the commander is slain. He does not suffer the result until he's vulnerable. He is vulnerable. It's a roll of a 10. Any swagger G. Swaggering G is Imperium. I have an Imperium mount. I'm rolling 3 dice to give myself an 8. Here comes 3 dice for an 8. Boom and boom. I make it on the second one. Dramatic pause there, and we have finally defeated these creatures.
Jeez.
The magic die was on Tony. It moves to Rusty. Rusty, where would you like to move from here?
I'd like to beg for an ignoble here.
Oh, sure.
So I used my opportunity to use my rugged to save someone. I won't do that in the future.
You would like to check growth?
Yes.
Yep. Did we establish that I could check exercise and prudence if I survived this battle? Was that what we said?
Yes.
Check.
And now you may drop from and you can stay in, hoping to get in fact, in the next encounter, Greg, I'll give you a chance to go up to level 5 if you wish, if you stay in, or otherwise come back in as a level 0, a new guy.
Well, all I need is crafty deeds.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance in the next encounter.
Well, the next encounter, the Lich, or just
no. The next encounter is not automatically a Lich.
There's lots of black here.
Yeah, it depends on how unlucky Rusty is.
All right, I'm staying in.
Okay. Staying in and risking death. We're going to go to Rusty gets to push the thing. Conrad, did you take your ignoble?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And where would you like to move from here, Rusty? You can see all the different area. Oh, you're going to go down from this one. Interesting.
Well, you're just skipping areas, Rusty. Oh, man.
I'm going to the biggest black area in the thing. And yes, I am not a completist. Completists are for death.
How do you know? How do you know what's that we're missing? Come on. We're missing important stuff.
All right.
And you found a guy in a workshop.
That's good. Those are scribes. You found
it's another subcommander. No. Okay.
No, it's not another subcommander. It could be worse. I don't think it's going to be worse, but Let me see what this is going to buy us. This is the, it's not the clerks. Oh, and we've hustled away just a little bit too early. I'm going to go back to that last area. And Tony, I'm going to give you the choice.
We got the gold.
You may take abundant stores and treasure laden, or you may take treasure laden and any other thing but abundant stores. What would you like to take?
You said abundant stores and treasure laden?
Yes.
Or
treasure laden and any other thing. So the choice really is, do you want abundant stores or something else?
You
like your democracy back?
I'm just looking at what my let me see. So we have our human watchdogs and we have N killer instinct vermin free. Yeah, let's take the abundant stores.
Okay.
And treasure laden. Yeah, that's fine.
And those come back, and now I go back to my High Ruins map, and we've entered the scribes. The scribes display skills to discover secrets of the cult. And that would be you, Greg. How do you talk up the scribes, or how do you coerce information from the scribes, or how do you magically control the scribes? What do you use, Mr. Psionics? That's +2 on his rolls on Psionics.
Yeah. Exactly. I use my psionic mentalist tricks to.
Okay, so you are level 4. Give me a roll of a 5 +2 is a roll of a 3 on 2 dice.
Alrighty. There you go.
Okay. How about if we do this? Woo! Yeah, enable, disable. Okay, so you are in the scribe area, and they say that the bad guy, if you want to confront him, will be in, let me grab an item here. If it will give me one. Ah, there it is. The bad guy is in this chamber right here.
The Lich, correct?
That's where I was going.
And otherwise, the rest of these things, here's a cell. You could possibly release a prisoner in that cell area there.
Oh, a soak-off. Okay.
But they also inform you that there's no way that we can defeat him so long as he wears... Let me see if I can find this guy in the High Ruins. Fent-Ankhet. Boba Fett-Ankhet. Fent-Ankhet. He cannot be defeated as long as he keeps Kek's crown on his head. Now, there's 2 ways of trying to get Kek's crown on his head. You can do some sort of swagger versus swagger to try to wrestle and grapple him. That would take a lot of swaggering from the party probably before it happens. Or you know that the more of these items you bring together of the Egyptian artifacts, the weaker they get. Now, you know where one of them is, the Wand of Atil. But in essence, to really win this battle easily, you're going to have to bring the other 3 artifacts into this room and just take away the 4th from him. Do you follow?
Yes.
I don't like that at all.
But you understand the dilemma, you're saying, right?
In other words, we're supposed to do this one last.
Well, I mean, it was a guess. If you go back to the Caucasus region map, there are 2 other ruins, the dry ruins and the wet ruins. And there are going to be artifacts, the Egyptian artifacts in the dry ruins and in the wet ruins. There's no telling what you face in there or what puzzle may evolve from what they are wearing. So, Greg, do you understand the situation? Sort of, kind of?
Yeah, we need more artifacts that we don't have, and we need to knock the crown off this guy's head, which is going to be extremely difficult, especially without those artifacts.
That is correct. Now, would you like to ask any other question about the other ruins?
Who is the prisoner before the other ruins?
That's a suggestion that Rusty is saying. It's not a bad suggestion.
Yeah, I am curious about the prisoner, but let me go back and look at the Caucasus region. can I ask him something as blunt as what artifacts are in the other ruins?
Yeah, that can be your question if you wish.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see what we got here. In the I got to flick down my table here. And
before you answer that, I might have a better question that you might like, Greg.
Yeah.
Is there a certain order that we have to visit the other ruins in?
Oh, that's actually a really good question. Yeah, is there an order we need to go to those other ruins in to get these artifacts?
Well, the high ruins ideally would be last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Found that out the hard way.
Obviously now.
And the wet ruins is going to be the hardest one to get the artifact from.
Ew.
Does that... I can't specifically tell you that you need to go to the dry before the wet, because I don't think there's the same handicap as there is in the high ruins, if you follow.
Right.
Now, the artifacts, Haqet's Scepter is the bestower of life. That's the one you have, and it increases virility. Kek's crown bestows magnificent, and the holder can speak to the multitudes over a distance. Neper's Flail, that's the one in the wet ruins that's going to be the hardest to get, because it's been reputed to, with a single blow, thresh the wheat of an entire field. So whoever's carrying that thing is going to be able to thresh the party. And then there's Satet's Sandals, which bestows humility, where the wearer can walk at peace among his enemies. Does that help you perhaps decide where you wanted to go to next?
I would think we want to get the sandals first.
Yeah, we want to,
because that way we have an easier time to get the thresher.
Flail. Yeah. Yeah, if you can miss most of the battle by walking at peace amongst your enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that makes sense to me. All right. So now we know what items are in which ruins and which ruins we want to go to.
And Rusty, in answer to your question, the person who is in the prison area is the faith healer Landon, worried about that the Lich here is going to raise the dead all through the area and start marshaling an army. Did you want to try to, we have 30 minutes or so left. You have perhaps enough time to rescue the prisoner from the cell. You could beat feet from where you're at and leave through the entrance that you opened up, that portal over to the east. You can also try to get back to your boat and do a little bit of epilogue action in order to start the next time we adventure with fresh traits and fresh methodical additions to the boat.
So, would it be possible to go rescue the prisoner and then beat feet to the boat?
Sure. Yeah. If you're
having a faith healer on our side seems
you're wounded, Greg, as I point this out. So.
I know.
Okay, and
I'm asking because I'm very much for an epilogue action.
The choice is Conrad's. The winner of the last battle, as I remember, he killed both of the enemies. Oh no, it was Tony. I forgot.
No, you did, Red.
No, I've killed everyone.
He killed. I thought Tony did it.
He just made him vulnerable.
I believe the saga is written from the point of the Stallari, but Conrad,
he's still alive.
I'm not trying to drive this one way or other. I'm ambivalent about it myself. But you can rescue the prisoner. A faith healer might be of value to getting the party to helping our religion in Rostov. Or we can exit here without much fanfare, and that way we don't suffer any of the other dangers of this place.
As I just checked growth, that I wouldn't risk or wouldn't save other people for fear that the betrayal would offend Odin. I think my growth would indicate we would leave.
Okay, I think we can always come back and try to rescue this guy. I doubt he's going to get away by the time we return. I'm going to just turn the fog back on for a little bit here. If we return, I may scramble the dangers just a little bit, but not much. And we'll go into
Isn't it a straight walk right over to him? Like right here, we've already been here, and then in?
Oh, to the prisoner.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a straight walk right to the prisoner. So it's only a battle for the prisoner, whoever's guarding the prisoner.
That is correct.
And we've got 2 level 8s. We worked
That's
so
true.
well before.
Yep, I would say
so
Conrad's
effective.
looking a little poulet there.
Yeah.
Not poulet. Odin told me.
Poulet.
Odin taught me.
Poulet.
Odin said, "Don't. If the
Glitner.
blow was meant to kill him,
It's a Glitner. Glitner. We evoke the name. Glitner says that the prudent thing to do would be to work on the craft and come back with a fully stocked, party of adventurers.
I need prudence to go to level 6.
We're gonna have to come back, but I think we should get the priest. But it's not my decision. It's Poulet's.
Yes, Conrad is the one that's talking to the crewman right now, and he's going to have sway. He says we're going to go to an epilogue. I'm ambivalent because I know what's going to happen if we go to the prisoner. And it would not be a subcommander battle. The man is neutral in the battle. It's whether or not we can meet his demands once we get him out. So I'm going to go ahead back to the boat, and we're going to flip a couple of cards in the epilogue. We may actually finish a little bit early, or we may move into the start of another adventure.
Might I
and
check
leave it
prudence for that?
Yes, you can check your ignoble for that.
Thank you much.
In fact, I will double up with you and take a prudence and forethought at level 5 for leaving the underworld to come back with either the sandals or the flail. That flail as well we could possibly use to cut that guy in half and take the crown off of his head. And Tony is still level 8. Congratulations. Rusty, did you make level 8? I believe you did.
Yes, I did. I did.
Yeah. Rusty has made level 8 by that action. And Greg, you made level 5, correct?
I needed crafty deeds.
Okay, and you checked that, correct, with last battle, correct?
You got it with the scribes. You got it with the scribes.
And you should check prudence for leaving the underworld, Greg, since you're still checking ignobles.
Well, I did check prudence for the last battle, but I checked crafty deeds for the scribes.
Yeah, you went up a level, and you should take your improvement for that, the skills, and you should check prudence for joining Conrad and going back to our main boat.
Okay.
All right. A 10 will get us home. A tower. Ugh.
Towers are always great. The best card in the deck.
A tower in the epilogue. I cough. And I say, I thought we were going to get out of this in short order, but we're probably going to have another encounter of monsters or something. Let me open my encounters book and lament my life in this day and this crew. Actually, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I didn't really see the dangers that we faced. We go to mission.
So the sandals were in the wet ruins, and the thresher was in the dry ruin, right?
The wet has the flail, and the dry has the sandals.
Okay, so
ignore 10.
Okay.
That's no good.
All right.
That is a bad card.
Until the deck reshuffles, ignore 10, a very bad card. We can still get out of this with the double king, double queen, double knight, or double knave resolve. But we're going to fill this half an hour. Temperance says that we are going to, until the deck reshuffles, treat all knaves and counters as inverted.
Great.
Wow. Have we had a worse series of card flips than?
It's been an interesting night for.
Okay, how about a force card? We just shuffled this deck, didn't we?
We did just shuffle.
The force card, until the deck reshuffles, ignore knights. Treat them as 10s, which 10s we're ignoring, so that we now lost another way of getting out, double knights. 7. We finally flip a 7. It's probably, after all that, going to be a personal event, but let's double check. No, it's a campaign event, double 7. Do I even have examples of campaign events in this game, or do I got to go back to Cutlass to get some? Oh, I know what I can do. I can move us forward on our Glitner Faith. We definitely have gone to the franchise role in the Glitner Faith, so that's going to have a little bit of an influence when we re-meet. I'll make a note on that. Add the franchise. Mike has wanted to activate Hugin as a Stallari, and the guy that turned essentially atheist toward magic, and he wants them to come back and be converted back to the cause. And that's going to probably take an ugly battle, like either a specially made Q&D or the subcommander Q&D, which I know I dread, so I think it's still effective. Here comes that card other than that force. 7/7 campaign event, and from that a king. It's one king that'll get us home. Conrad, on the longboat, I will allow you to risk the treasure laden for 2 others. Which 2 others would you essentially buy with treasure laden? And then it will also be a roll of a difficult, which at your level 5 or 6?
6.
A roll of a 7. You made the cut. So do you want to roll 2 dice for a 7 and turn our treasure laden into 2 others, or do you want to pass on that and keep it for your own wealth later?
We have, it looks to me like we're missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total.
We're actually missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is correct, yes.
I would keep the treasure myself, I believe.
Okay.
Odin intended for me to have it. I mean, Glittner intended me
it's
for me to have it.
It's more part of and from that decision, you, but if you try this, you could check crafty deeds. So is it the ignoble or is it the treasure?
I think Glittner had intended for me to have the treasure, not to risk it.
Glittner intended that treasure be turned into either an artifact to a idol to his benevolence, or to line the pockets of Conrad. All right, we're going to go on to the next encounter. From that king, we get the Fool. We are seeing a lot of majors, aren't we?
Yeah.
What is the Fool, Tony?
The Fool. Ooh, it's a long one. Digressions become harder.
All right, digressions become harder, and then it goes on to describe how we're going to have lots of captured by the rival digression if we get caught, but we don't ever plan to be caught. That is a 3. That 3 was followed by the king. That's a personal event. I believe I still have some personal events in here, but let's do it more straightforward. Let's have a time of a little lull here. Anyone can pick any personal swaggering. We'll start with Greg. Greg, pick a personal swaggering that you do not have.
Okay. Oh gosh, let's go with wrestling holds. T.
Sounds good. Give me a roll of a 5 on 2 dice to pick it up.
There you go.
You now have wrestling holds. Tony, do you have wrestling hold already?
I do.
Do you have golden blade already?
Do I have golden blade? I do.
Do you have inexorable mount already?
I do.
And do you have the power cosmic already?
Yes, I do.
And we have longboat.
Battle hard.
Battle hard we have. You may pick any personal swaggering you don't have and pick it up on a 3. Which one did you choose, sir?
How about hilt punch?
Hilt punch. Hilt punch is an L. And your roll of 3?
There you go.
And I do not have pick hilt punch, and I am level 5. I'll pick it up on a roll of 2 dice of 5. Here comes my dice roll. And I have failed. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, it's so sad. Or that ends the sequence. I was going to have it that as long as we keep making the rolls, we would have picked up swaggering until we got back to Greg. But unfortunately, I cheated Conrad and Rusty out of it, and for that I apologize. And I will not check crafty deeds, of course. We go on to the next flip of card. A knave. 2 knaves will get us home. How about if we fight a quick battle against the knave? It'll just be an incidental one. It's half past, so we still have enough time to fight a battle. Would you guys want to do this as a shipboard Q&D, or did you want to go right into personal combat with it?
For those
I will allow Tony to make the decision.
Personal combat's good for those that just leveled.
I feel we haven't done the shipboard combat in a while.
Let's do ramming speed. Ramming speed is a nice, easy table. The difficulties are in the middle, and no make rolls, so we're going to be on it. And because Tony's the first one to pick the result, he can have the first card from it. And we're going to go ahead and give us an 8.
I don't see ramming speed. What is that under?
It's on page 232. It's under the ship-to-ship actions. Ship engagements, quick look, ramming speed.
Got it. Okay, yep.
An 8.
You say 8. Pump yourself into a frenzy. Success in player gains Fury Pip to his rolls, but fail and suffer shaken. Difficulty 10, advantage trait energetic. I am energetic, so I am now furied.
Tony has a Fury Pip. Over to me. 7. A 7 would be let the crew act in their roles. There is nothing to be gained by bellowing. Success for the command pip, but fail and knocked unconscious. These are not large plus adversaries. And Longboat Seasoned Crew L. We do have Seasoned Crew. 3 dice for an 11 in order to get the command pip for the group. Well, that is exactly the roll I need, and we have a command pip for Rusty. Rusty, how about an 8? It is a Bane, but we do have ramming Banes. So an 8 Bane, please, for Rusty.
Slap the pilot to bring him back to his wits. He seemed to be drunk and falling asleep. Fail on group must retreat. Escape going forward. Difficulty 8, advantage, wizardly thought, control, P.
Just incidentally, that pilot is Sigmund 12 Toes. That's Bruce's character. So slap Bruce, get him back awake. Bruce, we miss you. And Rusty, you have thought control, obviously, right? Is it locked glorious?
It is already glorious.
Already glorious. We go over to Conrad. We still are not out of this battle. And Conrad, go ahead and give me a 4. It is not a Bane.
Not inverted. That's always good. Awake something that has slept on the planate bottom for an eon. At least an eon, maybe 2. Fail and lose any swaggering technique. This loss may be taken personally.
Oops.
Ramming 4, though. I'm reading that a little different.
Yeah, sorry. That was a...
that was the Bane, wasn't it?
My bad. Yeah, that was a Bane. There you go.
Even better still. Okay, create a current to help propel the ship above the thing that's been sleeping for an eon at the bottom of the ship, of the planet through the water. The gentle push of the giant watery hand. Optional, upon success, the group may maneuver and escape further battle on the water. This could end any chance for a battle this day. Difficulty 12. Advantage wizardry, geomancy.
12 to end this battle, Conrad, or do you have C geomancy?
As a matter of fact, I do have geomancy.
3 dice for a 12, and we are out of this Q&D and on to more flips of the cards.
Or I could roll the 12 with 2 dice and try to make it.
That is correct, since there's no danger yet.
And of course, I cannot use a make roll at this point in the epilogue, correct?
That is correct. The epilogue does not have make rolls.
So I'm going to roll the 2 dice looking for the 12.
Go ahead.
Big 12, big 12. But I'm rolling twice because I'm a level 5. Haha. Little dramatic pause there, and Glidner meant for me to not make that roll.
Glidner did not expect you to make that roll. He was said, hey, we bestowed you with geomancy. You don't want to use the powers of the earth to open the river up. We go to Greg. Greg, how about the Wheel of Fortune? If we shuffle a few times, does that have a high Bane percentage? Did I just generated, Tony, a high Bane percentage or not?
I would assume it does.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Probably does, at least in the 60s.
A tower for you, Greg.
Okay.
It's as if I hate you, when I certainly do not.
The crew is exhausted. The battle cannot be continued. No matter where the players are on the tables, they immediately switch to retreat. Continue from there, where the morale can be restored and the enemy can be attacked yet again. And a critical part of the climax is entirely up to the referee. If this card was selected during retreat, escape, the player character is knocked unconscious. Well, it wasn't.
It was not selected during retreat. We will move to retreat with our card. Here comes your card result, Greg, and it's a 7.
7.
That's a ramming 7, Tony.
Oh, and it's ramming 7, yeah?
Yeah, we now move to retreat.
Oh, retreat. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wait, is that the... There you go.
Yep, that's it.
Mistakenly issue a few contradictory orders, but the crew understands what you want and ignores what you said. That's always a good crew. Success and gain command pip against the large plus adversaries. Difficulty increases to 3. Difficulty 9. Advantage longboat seasoned crew. L. Do we have seasoned crew? We do.
We do have seasoned crew. Yes.
And a fail means we're going to lose T. So there you go. Good.
3 dice of a 20.
3 dice, and you've made the 3 dice. We have the command pip, which is a +1 or +2 if you need it. Tony, here comes your retreat card. How about a queen? It is a bane.
Queen, of course. Okay, bane. Order the men to clear the wreckage of a smoldering mast. Fail, and longboat loses 1 swaggering technique. If the loss removes the vessel's last technique, the group ship is sunk. Continue with aggressions. Difficulty 9, advantage, longboat orderly kept. Q. Are we orderly kept?
We are orderly kept.
Okay. Orderly
3 dice.
3 dice. A 9. And what was the number I needed to roll?
A 9 is what you needed to roll, and a 9 is what you had.
Go.
Actually, you could roll as low as a 7. So you have kept us from losing the swaggering off the boat. It comes over to me looking for the escape. Judgment card. Well, we should post that. I'll hunt for it in my text. Judgment. Following the battle, the selecting player receives any mount technique as a cautionary bonus. Any mount technique is a cautionary bonus. Well, that's nice. How about if we take a mystical mount out of that? And we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to flip my actual card for the battle, and I got myself a queen, but it's a bane. Same as Tony. I'm still trying to get that smoldering mast off the deck. It's a roll of a 9. Let's see if I can make that roll of a 9. Orderly kept gives me 3 dice, and we have got more of that smoldering mast off the deck. Rusty, an 8 of coins for you. It is not bane. On escape.
What the hell's going on here?
It's been a bad night. Right? What can we say? Okay. Nothing was ever accomplished through blind panic. Update your course projections. Success, and the group ship is safely out of the battle, but fail and knocked unconscious. Difficulty 11. Advantage longboat charted path B.
We do not have it, but if you get this roll, we will pick it up, Rusty.
Well, we have a quest pip of a 1, correct?
That is correct. I've been forgetting that. Thank you, Conrad.
Quest pip, we're furies.
That would do it.
Woohoo!
Okay, so we're out of the battle, and we picked up charted path. I will add those to our longboat swaggering, and we have received a knave. We received a king. We're ignoring ignoring 10s and knights. And here comes more encounters coming our way. A queen. Double queens will get us out there. A queen usually is a benefactor of some sort. Perhaps the town of Rostov is improving. I left off with Rusty. Conrad, how is the town of Rostov improving? Like, did one of the gentlemen there, the NPCs there, go off to start the first franchise of Glittner? Or how else would you want to improve Rostov, our home capital?
Yeah.
Have the men work on walls. You could have them, get Bruce's illusionist school up and running. What would you like to do in Rostov?
Let's do abundant crops.
Okay.
They had a very strong harvest. As Glittner,
of course, they would with the waters
of
that sea of Azor restoring to normal. Abundant crops and fishing. Of course, Glittner is not a crop and fishing guy, but any abundant crops is going to help the people of the area anyway, which is probably a positive.
It's the boon of Glittner. Everything.
It'll attract more people to the area.
It's the laugh of Glittner that obviously causes the crops to grow.
The mirth.
And here comes the next card flip. It's a 4. A queen followed by 4 is a personal event. We'll pick up on this method that I was on before when I failed. Rusty, pick any personal swaggering that you do not have.
Oh, let's see. Irregular tricks.
Irregular tricks is M. Give me 2 dice for a 3 to pick it up, please.
Good.
And Conrad, do you have irregular tricks?
No, I do not. Someone
give
for the
me
4.
2 dice and a 4 to pick it up, please.
Oh.
Conrad,
I'm gonna teach you boys.
It just happens, and it happens. Okay.
Glittner gives, and Glittner takes away.
Hey, hold on.
Exactly.
We do have the quest pip.
Glittner did not care.
Oh yeah,
for
we do have the quest. We do have the quest pip. Woohoo!
Does that help? I don't think.
We have the quest pip.
We have the quest pip.
Tony, that reminded us that we have the quest pip.
Yeah, that's right. We got
excellent.
The quest pip.
Greg, do you have irregular tricks? It is personal swaggering M.
Personal swaggering M. Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have a hellish blade?
I do.
Do you have a vibrant mount?
That I do not have.
Give me 2 dice for a 5 to pick up a vibrant mount.
2 dice for a 5.
Just a 4.
And it'll be a 4 with the quest pip, yes. And you have picked up a vibrant mount. And I come over to Tony. Tony, do you have a vibrant mount?
I do.
Do you have hexes?
I do not.
Give me 2 dice for a 3. Give me 2 dice for a 2 to pick up hexes, please.
Okay, I failed.
You'll actually pick up the hexes, but you'll attribute it probably to some sort of mischief in your blade that's acting up, your hellish blade. And I go on to mine. Do I have a regular tricks? Or I should say, do I have the hexes? I do not have the hexes. On a roll of a 5, I pick up hexes. And I have the quest pip, right?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
All right,
boy, that's a funny.
Swaggering, which is nice. And flipping cards for encounters. 10. We're ignoring 10s. Sun. That sun gets us home. All right. I close my deck because we won't need the deck for the remainder of 15 minutes of the game. I will do a couple of things with the group. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you guys to roll on that table to improve your estates. Let's take a look. If I have that somewhere easily available.
It's in the tools, Civilized Realms and Frontier Holdings page. It's from the Vox.
Civilized Realms and Hunter Build Estates. It's opening and building estates. Yes, okay. Civilized Realms and Frontier Holdings. I spoke too soon. It looks like I use a tarot deck to generate the results from this, so I will open my my tool again.
Sweet Jesus. Not the deck.
It's
not the deck. Please not the
we
deck.
love the deck, I thought. Isn't the deck supposed to be our friend somewhere?
If you closed it, I think you have to reshuffle. But
hey, here it comes. I'm launching.
I think Conrad used a Microsoft algorithm on his random
I did.
generator.
Yes. There is a way of. Okay, so you guys are actually all in the. I think Alora's the only one. You guys are Frontier Holdings. I'm going to start with Tony. Tony, your Frontier Holdings investment comes up with the Lover's card. That's
Yay!
Not going to be good, is it? The workers attracted by the efforts settle in the neighboring city-state. The trait populous. So we picked up populist in Rostov.
Which is what we expected from the mirth of Glittner.
Yes.
That's good for us, not necessarily specifically good for Tony. I go on to my guy. I flipped a 5 of cups. 5 of cups puts me at... a labyrinth passageways on an ordinary roll or storied heritage on a tasking. Do I want to connect to the underworlds for my holdings? I don't really want to do that. I'd be afraid of that. I will try the tasking roll of storied heritage, which is a roll of 12 on 2 dice for me. How difficult could that be? It's extremely easy, barely an inconvenience, as I remember. See if I can make a 12 on 2 dice here. An utter failure, which is a good thing anyway. And Rusty, you have holdings in the area. It's a 2. It's a Bane. It is a coin. A Bane coin. The player will gain 2 characteristic traits of his choice, any 2, on a nearly impossible roll. Note this is in downtime, so there is no make roll to be used. If the estate has gained flares, any and all modifiers related to those flares may be applied. I cannot remember, Rusty. You have it written on your character sheet or not?
Do I have what written on my
your estates?
I intentionally said I was just going to be an instructor in Bruce's estate.
Very good.
His magic place.
Why don't you?
So I could take over his magic place, I guess.
Well, you could, or you could use your 2 improvements over to Rusty or Conrad. Tony or Conrad. It's probably going to be Tony. So we're going to let Tony. Tony, what are the improvements that you have already? I believe you have at least the walls, right? Do you have that written down for your character or not?
Are you muted, Tony?
Sorry, I'm muted. I'm just talking to myself. I have enchanted bulwarks, and I have labyrinth passages.
Oh, terrific. He's already got a passage to the underworld. How about, Rusty, you try to pick him up as a migratory crossroads for people and an enterprising export. That would be B and C. And Tony would have 4 different things here. If you can make a roll of a 12 on 2 dice, Rusty, I do not see this actually happening.
This is the first roll I've missed all night.
It was a good try, but it was not a result that obtained anything. And I go over to Conrad. Conrad, you got yourself the magician's card.
I do not have an estate at this time. I think the previous guy was the one that had the estate.
Actors and musicians attracted to the effort settle in the neighboring city-states. So we pick up entertained in Rostov. Thank you, Conrad. And I finally start with Greg?
As a result of Glitner, I had that abundant stores.
Greg,
I did not use
your holdings around Rostov, your card flip for that is a coin bane. The coin bane is a player will gain 2 characteristics for his estates on a nearly impossible roll. Greg, a nearly impossible roll for your character is a 15.
Okie dokie.
So let's see, 2 dice for a 15 or 16.
Test.
Yes, I can hear you, Conrad.
Okay, good. I had abundant stores as well, Red, from the Glitner.
It was close, but no cigar. And at 8:50, that's probably we're going to call it for the night. If we'll pick up with Outlands not next week. Next week we're going to try to play Cutlass. I'm also almost done with the preliminary Q&D tables for a Golden Age pulp heroes set in the 1930s, of which we may have play tested some of the mechanics of this ages ago, like 2007 at a con. And those rules could be coming to you next week or 2 weeks. We're going to be slotting in a beta of Golden Age Pulp Heroes. It'll probably be in 2 weeks. Next week will probably be Cutlass. And Cutlass, we're writing a scenario. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, to try to reform France into a somewhat unified state under their one language.
Correct.
Okay. Well, on that note, that is where we will leave it.
I have one quick